Would you like to have your query letter critiqued, but you don't want to pay to have that happen? It can be done for free, but it will be public out here on all my socials. My name is Gina. I'm an author, editor, publishing professional. I help you make your writing better. The information on how to submit will be at the end of the video, but please remember there is a real live person on the other side of this query letter, and so we're going to be nice to them in the comments, and nobody's going to tell them to just self-publish because that's not how any of this works. Let's jump in. I am seeking representation for Pursuing Memory, a 227,866 word psychological thriller with mystery and sci-fi elements, and you just got auto rejected by about 90% of the people that you're going to send this to. 227,000 words is just too long, and we do round off to the nearest thousand, so you don't need 866. It would just be 227,000 words. It is just too long. It is too long for a debut author. It is too long for an agent to invest all of the time reading and editing into this project, and they're working for free that entire time. It is outside the bounds for this genre. I mean, you are going to have a really hard time finding a thriller at that length at all. Yeah, like even amongst published authors, thrillers tend to run on the short side. Like you're much more likely to find bestsellers, career long writers who are writing thrillers that are like 80,000 words more than you're going to find 200,000 words. This is outside the bounds of the genre. This is way too long for a debut author. Psychological thriller with mystery and sci-fi elements. I'm worried that you don't understand your genre. Like there's too much going on here. That is going to be an automatic rejection right there. However, I have faith in you. I believe that you can find the core of this story. You can do the editing that is necessary. So let's go through this query letter and let's try to find the piece that you need so that you can make this story successful. Although its length exceeds the typical range for thrillers, okay, at least you know that. The novel is structured in 3 parts, allowing it to be split into 3 separate volumes. You wrote a trilogy and are trying to shove it all into one book because you know that a series is hard to sell, maybe. This is not going to save you. This is still making it sound like I'm sorry, that's not going to work. All right, so let's dive in. With a group of strangers arrives at a remote building. That is usually not how we're going to start a query letter. We usually want a character, and we're going to focus on stakes, each believing they're there for a different purpose until a simultaneous nap leaves them with missing memories. Now they must play deadly games to piece together a truth that will tear their reality apart. I don't know what any of that means. So you now have, like, if I was willing to be like, maybe there's a story in here, you've just been very confusing. Now, Pursuing Memory offers a multi-protagonist experience, unfolding present events in third person while interweaving first-person accounts of the characters' memories. This layered structure, this is a lot. This is going to be really difficult to pull off even for a seasoned writer, but if you are querying as a debut author, this is really, really difficult. So we're unfolding present events in third person while interweaving first-person accounts of the characters' own memories. This layered structure gives readers a deeper understanding of their fragmented experiences and builds tension through the contrast. And this is not what we do in a query letter either. Query letter is to focus on character and stakes, not on structure of the novel. The structure of the novel needs to speak for itself when the agent goes to read the pages that you have submitted. 10 individuals gather for a summer holiday, you told us this already, at a remote countryside building, including 20-year-old Alex Peterson, expecting a forest adventure. As they get acquainted, they discover they've all taken simultaneous naps before dinner. You've told us this already. Only to find they've come for different purposes. Then a voice emerges, V, the man who has lured them with bait tailored to each of their desires. V brazenly admits to abducting them and offers but they all traveled there. Did they get abducted or were they traveling there? Brazenly admits to abducting them and offers an unsettling explanation during an orientation session when they try to leave, including Phoebe Atkins, who came for a psychotherapy retreat. They find their belongings missing and are forced to stay. So you've now told us your premise twice, and when you're dealing with a word count that's really long, and then your query letter is literally just repeating itself, that doesn't bode well for the novel. V reveals a shocking truth. They've been living in the building for some time, but their memories have been erased. Some notice changes to their appearance, like Kimberly Yagami, and we're probably naming too many people here, who once had long red hair but now sports a short blue cut. Each person bears old scars and suffers from migraines post-nap. To recover their memories, V proposes a clear-cut solution: play twisted games for an instant memory restoring. Every game comes with its own deadly rules requiring fear, blood, and pain to win the prize. The stakes rise as those who regain their memories must face buried traumas, rekindle friendship. This sounds like a horror story, not so much a thriller. This sounds more like that. I mean, you've all been abducted and lured here so that I can torture you. That's a horror story usually. All right, so let's talk about the 5 questions that a query letter is supposed to be able to answer. Who is your main character? Unclear. You've named 3 people but promised that we have multi-protagonist. Multi-protagonist is really, really difficult to pull off. Usually, even in very popular multi-POV stories, you still have one protagonist, maybe a pair of co-protagonists, co-tagonists, if you will. But saying like Six of Crows doesn't have six protagonists, it has one and six point of view characters. But not everybody in the story is a protagonist. So I don't know who your character is. What is it that they want? Also unclear. You told me like what one of them came here for, or two of them came here for something, but like, is that really what they want in life? Or are they like, is he seeking the forest adventure because he's trying to get over a breakup, or because he's taking a gap year after he graduated college really early? Like, I don't know what any of them want. Therefore, I don't know what it is they're willing to do to get it, because as far as I know, they all think they went on a vacation. So they didn't do anything like shocking or interesting. They just did a very normal thing. So I don't know what is standing in their way other than like this person who wants to torture them. Is V really your protagonist, the person who's going to win the story in the end? I'm not 100% sure what's happening. When you combine this level of confusion with that word count, I'm sorry to say this letter, as it stands right now, is probably going to be automatically rejected by everybody who reads it. But you spent a lot of time on this story. You have obviously done at least some market research, so you understand that this is outside the bounds of your genre usually. So it means that there's something in here that is worth writing and is worth saving. You haven't dialed it in, and you haven't convinced me which piece of it is that needs to be saved yet. I'm going to recommend that you spend some more time reading within your genre and finding the story, and pay attention to the way that those query letters or those blurbs are written on the back of the book, so you can really start to dial in what stakes looks like within this space that you are writing. If you would like to submit to have your query letter critiqued, there is a link in my bio that you can do that. If you do not want to do this publicly, but instead want to work with me as an editor, I have a wait list of about 6 to 10 weeks for queries, kind of depending on what time of the year you send over your request. If you don't want to wait for that either, and I'll do 3 rounds of editing back and forth with you. If you don't want to wait for that, and I get, maybe 5 to 10 times as many of these letters as I can do, depending on the day and the week, I do have a class that you can teach yourself this entire process, start to finish. It's only $30, and for 3.5 hours worth of content, that is the same price as an add-on workshop at a writing conference. You can do this all on your own schedule and from home. You don't have to travel anywhere. And it includes before and afters of clients that I have worked with who have taken those query letters and signed with literary agents or gotten publishing deals off of them.